Today, we're diving into something deeply personal, a topic that's all about finding inner peace in the face of incredible challenges. We're going to explore how some people living with ALS are using what's called New Age spirituality as a kind of toolkit, not for a cure, but to help navigate their journey. And really, this quote from our source it hits you, doesn't it? It perfectly captures one of the heaviest parts of an ALS diagnosis, that feeling of looking ahead into a great, big, scary unknown. So that's the big question, isn't it? When you're facing that kind of uncertainty, where do you find peace? It's a question that modern medicine doesn't always have an answer for, and that's why we're looking at this spiritual toolkit today, which offers a very different kind of path. Okay, so what is this toolkit we're talking about? Well, our source material describes New Age spirituality less like a formal religion and more like a personal, flexible approach to finding meaning that you can really tailor to your own life. Right, let's break this down a bit. This isn't a single belief system with a set of hard and fast rules. Think of it more like a buffet of ideas and practices, pulling from all sorts of traditions, and the real focus? It's all on your inner world, your personal journey, and your own unique connection to the universe. And here's where it gets really interesting, especially in the context of ALS. You can see the contrast here. With organized religion, you often have a set structure. But New Age spirituality is fluid. It's adaptable. Our source points out that this flexibility is key because as a person's physical abilities change, their spiritual practice can change right along with them. All right, so the first tool in this kit, it's all about managing the mind. It's about finding a way to step out of that cycle of worrying about the future or regretting the past, and instead creating a little sanctuary right here in the present moment. To really understand how this works, our source introduces us to a hypothetical person named Alex. He's diagnosed with ALS at 45, and as you can imagine, his entire world is just completely turned upside down. In the beginning, his mind was completely caught up in the illness. He was just constantly fixated on what he couldn't do anymore and terrified of what he was going to lose next. But then something shifted. He discovered mindfulness, this powerful idea of being fully present, of just noticing your thoughts and feelings without letting them sweep you away. And one of the most practical tools he picked up was simple breath work, something like this 4-7-8 breathing technique, which the source suggests can have a powerful calming effect on the nervous system. And the crucial part is that it's something that can be adapted, even as respiratory function changes. Okay, let's go a bit deeper now. This next set of tools is all about finding a sense of power when the body feels powerless. It's about cultivating a sense of internal control, even when external control is slipping away. So the idea here is that we're more than just our physical bodies. There's what's called a subtle body, an energy field with its own anatomy of chakras and auras. Now, practices like Reiki, which is a type of energy healing, don't try to cure the physical illness. And the source is really clear on this. The goal is comfort. It's about soothing that energetic body to bring about a sense of deep peace and relaxation. And then you have something like this, a really powerful affirmation. This is another core practice, and it's connected to an idea you might have heard of called the law of attraction. So what's the thinking behind this? The whole concept is that our thoughts aren't just thoughts. They carry an energy, a kind of vibration. So by repeating an affirmation like, I am strong in spirit, you're not just trying to think positively. You're actively trying to shift your energetic frequency away from loss and fear and toward resilience and self-worth that isn't tied to your physical body at all. All right, now we're getting into the really big picture ideas, the concepts that aim to change how you view the entire experience of suffering itself. At the heart of this is the belief in reincarnation, the idea that this life, this body, is just one chapter in a much, much longer journey that our soul is on. And you can see how this could completely change everything, right? For Alex, it transformed his illness from some random, cruel twist of fate into something meaningful. It became a lesson his soul chose to learn for its own growth. And according to the source, finding that kind of purpose can bring a really profound sense of peace. So how does this all come together? Let's look at how these different pieces, these practices, and beliefs combine to create a real, holistic support system. And this chart really lays it out perfectly. You see, it's not about just picking one thing. It's an integrated approach. You use mindfulness to calm the anxious mind, energy feeling to soothe the body, affirmations to bolster the spirit, and these bigger ideas to find purpose. It's a whole person approach to well-being. And this is so, so important. This journey isn't meant to be taken alone. Our source really emphasizes that finding a community, whether it's online or in person, is vital. It's a place to share, to listen, and to be reminded that you are not isolated in your experience. So, in the end, what our source material shows us is a way to shift the entire narrative. It proposes a way to see the experience of ALS not just as a story of physical decline, but as the beginning of a profound spiritual journey. And it leaves us with this final powerful question to think about. Thanks so much for joining me.